With a population of 128 million and situated on islands that together would almost fit inside the state of California, Japan is the world's third largest economy and the fourth largest importer of U.S. products. However, economic growth has been anemic, and the government continues to modify economic policies in an effort to reduce the national debt and boost consumer spending. Japan's aging population is also often seen as a drag on the economy, but this also presents business opportunities in Japan to U.S. exporters in sectors like medical devices and equipment, pharmaceuticals, healthcare facilities and infrastructure, biotechnology, and robotics. Other fast-growing markets include advanced manufacturing, cybersecurity, and e-commerce. In addition, Japan's strategic alliance with the U.S. provides opportunities in the space, defense, and security industries. It's also important to note that Japanese consumers tend to be demanding, and government regulations set product standards at very high levels. To support American exporters, the U.S. Commercial Service has offices and market experts in Japan to help spot opportunities and ease access to this challenging but potentially very rewarding market. So how can your business best prepare for success in the land of the rising sun? And why should U.S. companies export to Japan?
Why should a U.S. company even look at Japan? I think the compelling case is the affinities that the market and the people offer with American products and solutions, and the fact that this is an economy that is moving again. It has strong political direction, which is transferring into some really important economic reforms. When American companies approach Japan, cultural factors are important for them to address right up front. So when a company comes, we're looking to see them have invested up front in making a personal impression that's smooth and accepted by the Japanese. Name cards are an important piece, so they should be meticulously done bilingually if at all possible. The same for basic company literature is very important. It's important to understand the pace of business in Asia and in Japan in particular, and to know that it's considerably slower than the North American model. So time needs to be invested developing a rapport, finding common interests before lurching directly into brass tacks negotiations on a business deal.
I think if you're going to enter Japan or any market, you have to understand the true competitive drivers in that market. Japan, for instance, in the context of our industry, is a very dense island, very small geographic area with a very high population. Anytime you deal with a country like Japan that is so densely populated in such a small area, things like power output, things like efficiency matter, because the country does not have room for inefficient solutions. It is a tightly compact place.
If I was to describe what kind of preparatory study or work that a U.S. company should do before they come to Japan, I'd sum it up by just saying extensive. But that means that a firm really has to invest the time up front, have a long-term plan for approaching the market, understand what their objectives are, what the core values are that they don't want to compromise on, and where they are ready to adapt their good or service to Japan. Have a really strong focus before they even approach the market. So some of the most common pitfalls for U.S. companies are making the assumption that the models that they have developed in the United States, in North America, in Western Europe, will similarly succeed in Japan, and that frequently is not the case. Japan is a culture that places an awful lot of importance on presentation, the way an item appeals to the eye, and U.S. manufacturers, suppliers of an otherwise wonderful product may trip up by not investing enough care in the final presentation of their product. The bottom line, Japan's been a wonderful friend, a developed market with the same sorts of rule of law and transparency that American companies know and expect to find, but more importantly, while it's not a fast growth market by any stretch of the imagination. It's one that's moving again, that's offering new opportunities. Specific projects like the 2020 Summer Olympics offer a wonderful opportunity. And even where Japan faces challenges, like in its graying society, U.S. companies can find the silver lining, if you will, to bring new solutions that will be applied not just in Japan, but across aging societies around the world.
Want to learn more about exporting to Japan? Explore the Japan Country Commercial Guide on export.gov or connect with a U.S. Commercial Service trade professional. Brought to you by the U.S. Commercial Service, part of the U.S. Department of Commerce's International Trade Administration.